Here we are again in Hawaii, in my home state, the capital of Aloha. So we're gonna make some observation here. If you haven't watched my other videos in Hawaii, I recommend you watching it, especially the one about Molokini that we're gonna be observing again today. And this time we're gonna be observing Lanai and Kaolave also. And Molokai also here we're not gonna see, even though it looks like we'll be able to see it. And I'll show you in another video we can see Molokai from 3,000 feet on the Kohala Mountain Road, and I think I see it from 2,500 feet also. So we're gonna be looking again at Molokini. Molokini is a very small island. It's not a populated island, it's only a swimming island, snorkeling island, and it's right by McKenna Beach on Maui. McKenna Beach, you got Big Beach and Little Beach. Big Beach, if you're a regular person, you go swim with your clothes on, or if you're more adventurous, you go to Little Beach, you go over the rocks and you wind up on the other side naked. No, you're not going to lose your clothes on the way, but you can take them off on the other side. And you can spend all day naked with a bunch of other people. You don't have to touch one another. You can wear masks if you want. Anyway, so we're going to be observing Molokini, and we're going to be seeing Kaolave here on the foreground, and Lanai, and obviously Maui. Maui is hard to miss from the Kohala coast. Anywhere on the Kohala coast? Okay, so let's show you on this video. I'm going on a little hike. Okay, I'm gonna show you from the highway, the top of the Kohala mountain, and I'm gonna hike down to Mahukona. I'm gonna start around here on the highway and climb straight down. Lapakahi is right next to Mahukona, and there's a little tiny lighthouse tower. I wind up next to there. And then my wife, my beautiful wife, came and picked me up. She says, such an amazing person. I didn't have to hike back up on the mountain, especially the desert area, which was a really pain to walk through. A lot of rocks and dry grass and kiawe trees with thorns on them. Gladly there are no snakes in Hawaii. But there are a few scorpions around the coast here, so yeah, it's good to keep an eye open. And centipedes. A lot of people are afraid of centipedes. I have a lot of respect for centipedes. But scorpions, I crush them right when I see them. Sorry. No tolerance for scorpions. I'm not a big fan of the Scorpio ideology either. But we live in an era with so many people being born with some planets in Scorpio, especially Pluto in Scorpio, Uranus in Scorpio, Neptune in Scorpio, a lot of people from those generations. So I'm going to wind up there by the little lighthouse that I just showed you. And I'm going to take a little dip at the end of my hike in the water there. So let's measure from there to Molokini, okay, which we get 49 miles, 0.21 miles, 49 miles, okay? It's an easy number to remember, 49 miles away. is Molokini. Can I see that from the coast? We'll show you in this video. We're also going to be looking at Kaulave and Lanai and the coast here. There's some windmills on that coast there. We'll be able to see. So what I want to do, give you a little closer look at those windmills. See that little serpent road. But I'm gonna make another video just about those windmills. It's gonna be a shorter video compared to this one. I apologize, this is gonna be a long video. There's gonna be some long viewing in there that we don't see so much. But if you're patient enough, you stick through this video, you'll see a bunch of details that confirm the reason why I'm making these videos. Okay, I'm not making these videos just to entertain you and waste time and say, look at the ground, oh, spin around. No, there's a major reason why I'm showing you these videos. It's to show you that the world we live in is not the world we were told that it is. We're not living on a globe. You can take my statement and be convinced with that, or you can make your own research and see there are many, many proofs, thanks to the flat earthers that bring up all these things to talk about and say, look, look, and look. The world is not on a ball. We're not spinning in the vacuum of space. So measuring to Kaolave, we get 53 miles, which is pretty much about the same distance to Molokini, but I'm not really sure if I'm precise on the coast here. I'm not sure if I'm hitting Mahukona. I was a bit lazy in my measurement here. But if you listen to the flat earthers, they're gonna tell you that the world is flat, 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 flat. Even if we have mountains, but what they're talking about is the flatness of the water. They say that the water cannot bulge because water always finds the lowest point. It always molds to the bottom, but it shouldn't be bulging. It shouldn't be raising up in the air. So yeah, Mahukona, that's where I was, between Mahukona and Lapakahi, measuring the distance. Measure the distance to Lanai, the highest point on Lanai. 79 miles away. 79 miles away. Okay? And that's one feature we'll be looking at. I'm going to look at the elevation map here to see the grounds, the highest point that we're going to be observing on Lanai and Kaulave. So I think the highest point is around here. Oops, sorry. So 33,000 is what I saw. Elevation. Tuk, 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 tuk. Come on, computer, give me an answer. Oh, a little bit more detail, that helps to see what we're looking at. 33,027 feet. Looks about the summit where all the lines converge. All the little streams start from the summit. Doesn't look like a very good area to hike up there. So many gulches to walk through. But so are many tops of Hawaiian mountains. 30, 25. Anyway, so we get about the picture, 3,300 feet. There's a little sample. Somewhere is the highest point. Anyway. Kaho'olawe, 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 Kaho'olawe. Sometimes Hawaiian words are a bit hard to pronounce. It takes practice. It's like any other language. It's like speaking French. Try to speak French. T'es capable? It's not that easy. But I don't speak any other languages. I can kind of understand Spanish. But don't give me any indication, you're gonna lose me. So what's the elevation on Kaho'olawe? Yeah, that looks like the highest point around there. 1463, 1,400 feet. And again, we get 1473. Okay. You see the curvature lines there. 1473 again. That's about that height. It doesn't get much taller than that. 1450. Okay. That's the elevation map. Very good tool to have. Molokini is a little harder to grasp with this tool, so we're looking at Google, Wikipedia. 160 feet is how tall Molokini they say it is. See Molokini, can go snorkeling there, get a blast, make friends with the fish. So if we're going to be looking at the curvature of the Earth, we're going to use this number here, 3,963 miles, which is supposed to be the radius of our globe. So using the Pythagoras triangle to calculate the A side on this globe, on this ball, okay? If they tell you that radius, Robert here, the expert, tells you that that radius is 3,963 miles. It's no more than that, no less than that. And they tell you that 7.98 inches to every mile. That is squared. Okay? So if you don't understand how to square a mile and how to calculate that with 8 inches to the foot, I'm going to give you a little example later on. And they even explain it to you in Wikipedia, Google, all these conspiring members that with their theory, they tell you that's what it is, okay? So they conspire with a theory. Have you ever heard that expression before? So that's my first observation going down on the hike. We're going to be looking at Kaho'olawe, Lanai, Molokini. Okay, we're going to be observing Molokini with a closer look. And you can see that the shoreline of Molokini is just before the curvature line. You can see that? It's just a bit below that. So as we're looking at Molokini, it's before the curvature, which is out there. The curvature is out there, flat earthers. It is. You don't want to believe me? Just keep on watching my video. A video that I shot with my Nikon P900. And we're going to walk down to Mahukona, Lapakahi area. Okay, I'm going to walk down there. You can stay home comfortably in your couch, smoking your cigar, eating your Doritos. And I'm going to be sweating, scratching my skin, and panting and catching my breath. I'm not catching my breath too much as I'm going downhill. I'm going to start from the lush green area going down to the desert area. Okay, second shot. I brought my altimeter. I forgot to turn it on for the first shot. So up here I'm at 1380 feet, if you can see. I'm trying to show you because I have a hard time seeing what I see in my camera eye. But I'm also show you a little factor here. Our instrument, whoop, it jumped to 1482. What's up with that? I was at 1380, I went to 1482. Isn't that what measuring tools do? They give you wrong numbers? 1380, 1482. Okay. I paid 20 some bucks for this gadget. It's supposed to give me some accuracy. Now I'll come back to 1380. I'm going to stick to this number to make my observation. Since it's going to be a long video, I'm going to put a little bit of music in the background. Some rock and roll. I think it's, to my taste, it's probably the best album ever made. From Jethro Tull, called Thick as a Brick. I used to have the vinyl album of that. So if you look at Molokini here, it's a little bit before the curvature line again at 1380, 1,380 feet according to my altimeter that was skipping before our eyes. I'll go down a little bit more the slope here. So the Thick as a Brick album, when I had it in vinyl, the whole album case was like a newspaper, and it had all these articles, and it was like, wow, they put all this time, 1,302 feet. Okay. It took all this time to write all these articles, and it's not real news, it's like fake news. So reading Thick as a Brick is pretty much the same as reading any newspaper, since they make up so much fake news these days, especially about certain fire that's going around. There's a lot of fake news out there. Anyway, who am I to tell you that? So if we look at Molokini once again, we saw that it's right below the curvature line once more. A little bit of music. Molokini again. So Molokini, once more. Okay, we're at 1191 or 97, 1,197 feet, just below 1,200 feet of elevation. And here I got a little treat for you. If you watch my video from Havi to Hana, you can look at Hana here in the little pu'u from on that hike I was taking. You see the trees on both sides, on the ocean side. You can see little waves splashing on the shoreline, little white splash. So you can see the shoreline at that distance on Maui. But I was at 1,200 feet, so it's not too impressive if we consider the story of the curvature here. Look how Maui is beautiful. Up here is the Kaupo Gap that goes into the Haleakala crater, the biggest crater on Earth. Whether the Earth is a globe or flat, or it's shaped like according to Orlando Ferguson's map. You got the barge going past in front of Molokini here. And if you look at the shore of Molokini, it looks like it's getting close to the same level as the curvature. It's getting close, but it still looks a little bit before. There's McKenna. You can peep at the nudies over there, but no, we can't see anything. Sorry, we'll look at the nudies from another angle some other day, but I'm not going to show you. Okay, keep going down. So here I'm standing at 1,075 feet. You can see the grass is getting drier already. Because before it was all lush and green and my feet were soaking wet. They're still soaking wet at this point. They didn't get a chance to dry off. Molokini. Okay, is the level of the shoreline getting close to the curvature line here? It is kind of getting close. It's kind of hard to see. The air is a bit thick, but we can still see far away. The barge moved up a little bit. It's getting towed by the little tugboat. All those fat containers contain our goods that we buy in the stores here in Hawaii. A lot of fruit. Coming from the mainland, we could be harvesting our own fruit here in Hawaii and eating them, getting fat off our own fruit, but no, we let them rot, fall on the ground, and we go buy them at Safeway, Costco, Island Naturals, and so on. You got here 970 feet of elevation. You can see the two islands are kind of fading. With the air it's got this minimal amount of moisture in there that makes it a bit hard to see. There's Kaulave, Lanai, and Molokini. And look at the curvature line is getting pretty much the same as the shoreline of Molokini. Can we be really sure about that? There's the barge again on the right side. Let's keep walking down towards Mahukona. That's a long field to walk. And there's so many rocks I couldn't see hidden under the grass. Keep bumping my feet. Sometimes I got my foot stuck, or would step on it and it would hurt my knee a bit, but I bit my tongue and kept on going. All for the sake of science. I don't like to call it science. I don't like that word, science. It sounds like a religion. There's Molokini. Look at the curvature line, which looks the same as its shoreline. So yes, I don't like to say science. I like to say research. And I like to call myself an avant-garde researcher. That's how I like to call YouTubers that make research and show you the links of all their research and show you all that they're relying on to bring you information. As opposed to the news network, when you turn on the mainstream news channel, they don't show you any links of what they're talking to you about. They show you a few pictures, a few actors, and a bunch of politician puppets, but they don't show you the links of their information. You can't really go and make your own judgment on what they're telling you, because they're just slipping a bunch of theories that they've been conspiring over between the politicians, the big bankers, the big guys that run all of the world that we don't know about. Because it's not all Trump. People like to blame Trump. I don't blame Trump. I don't like Trump, but I don't waste my energy blaming that one guy, because I know that he's just a puppet. Just a puppet with nice hair, if you like hair. And he's got a big mouth. He was put there to do the exact job that he's doing, which is infuriating the whole world and making us look like we ought to do something about that one guy when he's just the front puppet. He's keeping our attention while there's so many things going on that we are not told by the mainstream media, the conspiracy theorist of the mainstream media. But if you watch videos from avant-garde researchers, that I like to call, a bunch of YouTubers, you also got to watch out, because there is controlled opposition. That's why we have flat earthers. They're the controlled opposition of the idea of the globe that the NASA and the Jesuits and all the big Freemason guys, they trying to convince us that we live on. So watch out for controlled opposition, like Alex Jones. Bill Hicks is his real name. He supposedly had died, but he's still the same guy. Still has the same agent. And so many other people in this world that are fake, that look so real, like actors, so many actors that go up on stage and speak as if they would care for humanity. They don't, they are actors. So look at what we got here. After looking for a long time, I finally got my eye on it. It's Molokini, ladies and gentlemen. Molokini getting cut in half by the curvature. You see one side and you see the other side, but you don't see the middle. We know it's not two islands. It's one little island. One of the smallest Hawaiian islands. One island, not two. It's hard to find focus sometimes. I'm on automatic with my Nikon P900, and it can be challenging. It's not an easy task to be looking in the camera hole camera eye. See, at 783 feet, we're cutting off the top of Molokini with the curvature, ladies and gentlemen. 783 feet. And I just went a little further to keep at the same view, 760 feet, because I still want to be looking at Molokini getting cut off by the curvature. What do you do when the old man's gone? Tell you, these musicians that we're hearing right now, they're like 5 or 4 or 5. They sound like a whole orchestra. They have so much imagination. They had so much imagination back then in the late 60s, early 70s. How come music has no soul these days? Today's music ain't got the same soul like the old time of rock and roll. We can see Molokini here again, ladies and gentlemen, being cut off by the curvature. I had a hard time really telling what I was looking at, but I got a glimpse of it and I was holding on tight to my camera not to move, which is hard, even with a tripod. Here's McKenna. You can still see McKenna, even though it's about the same distance from our observation point. So yeah, how come they don't make music like that anymore? If you hear today's music, it's just like it's the same beat over and over, the same singing over and over. They're just changing the lyrics at every turn, but they're not changing the sound. It's totally awful. I cannot listen to modern music anymore. Even a lot of old junk. When you walk into stores, why are they still playing this crap after 40 to 60 years of being out on the air? Why are we still stuck at listening to some old junk when nobody ever plays stuff like that? This Jethro Tull is totally brilliant. If you look at at their album work from one album to the next, and especially in the early 70s, it's mind-blowing music. So you can see the slope of Lanai here, but I'm looking for Molokini, and I'm having a real time seeing what I want to see. There's the shoreline of Maui. I kind of skipped Molokini in the middle, but we just saw it. It still sticks out of the water, and it looks cut in half. At this point, we only see the two tips, the two very tallest tips on the extremities. There it is, there it is. But, sorry, going a little too fast. There it is, there it is. You can see it. One side, two side, no middle. Middle is cut by the curvature. The curvature that flat earthers deny. Flat earthers talk about a lot of interesting things. They also explain why and who made our world a globe. And who likes to keep making us believe that we live on a globe by showing us the NASA. Sorry, gotta zoom out. 760 feet, we're seeing Molokini being cut off. So we saw it earlier at 780 some feet. We still see it at 760. And let's look at 721. Look up on Maui here, the Kaupo Gap is starting to get a bit of clouds building up in there. We can see into the Haleakala crater. Beautiful sight. That's one hike people can make on Maui. You go to the summit, it's over 10,000 feet high. You can walk down in the crater on the trails. I've never done that myself. I've walked to the to the summit of Maui a couple of times from halfway up the mountain in Kula, and then I hiked down the ridge of Haleakala all the way down to McKenna, which we're looking at right now. No, I didn't walk all the way down to McKenna. I walked down to Kula, heading towards McKenna. And back in Kula, I went back home, back when I was living there 20 years ago. So here's the shoreline of Maui. I'm trying to pan out, but I'm not moving. Even moving left to right with the camera when I'm holding the image. Here it is, Molokini. Left and right, but no middle. I'm having a hard time seeing what I'm seeing. So moving from left to right with the camera is not an easy thing. When I want to be focusing at 50 miles away, 49 miles I should be saying. That's the shoreline of Maui, La Perouse Bay. Okay, I'm trying to pan out to the left. Come on, Louis. Move, Louis. I apologize once more to show you a slow imagery, just to make you understand that it's not easy. In the name of research, of avant-garde research, not science. You know how they make science? With trial and error. They try something out, forget about the wisdom and the knowledge transmitted by the elders. No, they just try. Try and error. You see, Molokini, we just passed it. So you wind up with an error. You start by trying, make up these theories. Oh, that's probably gonna work. Let's try. Try, fail. Okay, let's try again, fail. Okay, that didn't work. Let's write it down. Let's try this. Failed. Okay, well, will this work? Okay, it works. So let's write it down then if it works. Let's make it science. Let's have everybody repeat what we just did and say, that's how it is. Carve it in stone. Don't carve it in the Georgia guidestones. Carve it in stone. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Georgia Guidestones, maybe you should look that up. You can look up also Event 201. What is Event 201 about? And there's a lot of things you should be looking up instead of waiting for the news to tell you what they want you to believe. So I'm sorry here, I'm looking down at the water, and in my camera eye I thought I was looking at the horizon. But no, I'm looking in the water. Sorry, could be cutting out this piece of video, but no, I want to leave it running because you're going to see the good things. And I want to show you, to make up my point, that we don't live on a globe and the earth is not flat. But you can still keep an open ear, an open mind, open eyes to the globe theory and the flat earthers, what they have to say. Because between the lines is where you have to read. Between the paradigm of left and right, between voting Democrat or Republican, you shouldn't be voting at all. Seriously, it's a waste of your energy. They're relying on that piece of energy to justify all the evil that they do. So if you don't vote, what can they rely on to justify what they did? They can't say, hey, you guys agreed. Democracy said that you guys believe in me and you should do whatever I say. No. So we just saw Molokini pass by. Tops. Still looking for it. Panning left to right. Sorry, this little clip here is too long. But we saw it. We saw it. Okay, and it was at 724 feet. You could still see the very top of Molokini, which is only 160 feet tall from the water level. 160 feet tall. At 49 miles away, we can see it at the elevation of 720 some feet. So I'm trying to show you. There it is, 646. Okay, I'm happy to find trees to have some shade to help my film and my head as I'm walking through desert plains. No, they're not plains, desert slopes. Look at these clouds. They're crawling up the slopes of Haleakala to go up into the crater. Haleakala means the house of the sun, which is a big mountain on Maui. Let's look at some features. You can see our windmills again. 8 windmills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, right over the water line, the curvature line. And the curvature is not hiding McKenna Hill yet, but you can see that the curvature line makes the shoreline of Maui look all flat at this point. We don't see it going back and forth. We see one straight line. And at that point, I'm still kind of looking for Molokini, but I kind of gave up hope already at this point, because it was disappearing higher than where I am right now. Since it was disappearing higher, below them, I shouldn't be able to see it. So that's still the shoreline of Maui. You can still see some treetops sticking out. I'm trying to pan out to go see anything left from Molokini, any remnants from the tippy top of the iceberg of Molokini. Can't see very wide here because of the trees, they limit my view. There's the trying to show you in the shade. There it is, 646. Okay, next video. 570 feet of elevation is where I'm standing with my camera eye. Look at Maui. The clouds keep on climbing, filling up the crater. You see another level of cloud below. It looks kind of flat. It's forming with the morning. Eight windmills in full height. The water line getting a little closer. The curvature, getting a little closer. McKenna, still there. The curvature line very flat below the shore of Maui. And no Molokini in sight. See, that's the beauty of Thick as a Brick. They're not scientists, they're artists. Even when they screw up, they still play it. And they tell you, don't fuck it up. So they're not scientists. They made errors and they didn't try to hide their errors. Lanai. No Molokini, just McKenna and Lanai on the left. The Lord of the Hills. Keep on descending the hill. I didn't pull out my tripod on this one. I had a big rock to lean on. On a very rocky ground at 429 feet. The rain is getting loud. So I'm looking at Kaulave. You can kind of see that the height of Kaulave and Lanai looks like they're almost at the same height, don't they? They almost look the same height. Lanai is 3,300 and some feet tall, and Kaulave is just under 1,500 feet. So Lanai is a bit taller than twice the height of Kaulave. They look about the same height from our point of view. 400 and some feet of elevation on the Big Island, just over Mahukona. $360 degrees? No, 360 feet of elevation. See telephone post, getting close to the highway. See a boat out there, getting close to the water, getting close to the Mahukona buildings. This is Hualalai Mountain, which is over Kona. Kona is down there around the curve of that hill, of that mountain. Mauna Loa, the world's biggest mountain, bulkiest mountain, These are the Kohala mountain tops, and back there is Mauna Kea. There's a bit of snow on top Mauna Kea. We can barely see through those branches, but I'm gonna show you a little further down, so don't worry. There's a lot of Kiave all over. Kiave's got nasty thorns. They say the missionaries brought those plants to Hawaii to keep the natives from walking barefooted. Thank you, Jesuits, once more for ruining our nature. They want to set the world on fire. They have been, if you haven't noticed. What's happened in California and Australia? Big fires. They set it on fire. Here's Kaolave. Lanai and Kaolave, you kind of look at about the same height, don't they? Again. No Molokini to be seen here. So looking over Lanai, trying to see it clearly with the sun glaring in my eyes. Let's look on Maui a little bit. You see McKenna. Where is McKenna? McKenna Hill, not there anymore. So it got eclipsed by the curvature as we went down the slope on the Kohala slope going down to Mahukona. "288 feet. Kaulave, Lanai, still there. Didn't go beyond the curve yet. If you have noticed, we didn't see Molokai anywhere in my trip here, because Molokai, you have to be higher up on the Kohala Mountain Road to be able to see it. And where I started off, my first shot of this video was about 1,550 feet. So I wasn't high up enough to see Molokai, but high enough to see Molokini close to the curvature, and so on, and so on. So if we look across the Alenuihaha channel to Maui, you can see that the curvature has been hiding some landscape like the McKenna Hill. So we can't see the nudies anymore, even with all the moisture in the air and the distortion of refraction. You can see that the refraction is making all these little waves in the air. The refraction is not bending the island, making it look bigger or taller or wider. No, the refraction in the air just gives us a bunch of tiny little waves. Because the air is gas, the water molecule and the air are not holding each other by the hand like they do in water. When you look in water, you can see the refraction index is much greater. It really bends the image. But in the air, The water molecules are not touching one another. They're separated by nitrogen molecules and a bunch of other molecules that are in the air, such as aluminum, strontium, and barium that are getting sprayed by the chemtrails. But why should we talk about that? No, I'm talking about nitrogen in the air. So I was at 288 feet there. So the water molecules in the air don't touch one another, therefore we don't have a solid refraction index. It's all loose. It's all a bunch of tiny little waves in the air. They don't distort the image. They don't bend the horizon. You can still see Kaolave and Lanai over those treetops. Kaolave, Lanai. We kind of look at the same height again. Even though Lanai is more than twice the height of Kaolave. But you gotta remember that Lanai is further. That's why it looks about the same height. But when we were looking at the beginning of the video, if you want to get back to there, you can see that Lanai is higher up than Kaolave when we look at it from above. But from below, from closer to the ocean level, they look almost at the same height. So we can't see much on Maui on the shoreline. We can't see McKenna. But if we see let's take a look at our windmill situation. Shall we? Louis, what are you doing? You're bringing us into the trees again? Thorny Kiawe trees? Kiawe is one of the best wood to burn for cooking food, and you can breathe the smoke of Kiawe without dying. And it burns a long time. So if you want to have a fire that's going to burn all night long, use Kiawe. We're just above Mahuko now. Shoreline buildings, Maui is getting all covered with clouds. But we can still see below the cloud level here. Sorry, I'm looking. It's hard to see what I'm looking at. Where did those windmills go? I think the windmills disappeared already. Oh, no. That's where they are. See, no Molokini. No McKenna. All hidden by the curvature. Yes, the curve. We can observe the curve. But if you fly way up in the air, you won't be able to see that the Earth has curvature. If you go on an airplane, you're going to see it flap everywhere you look, from left to right. Even when I'm standing anywhere on the island and I'm standing on the Kohala Mountains and I'm looking at the ocean out there, from north to south, the Pacific Ocean looks flat. It doesn't look like it goes up on one side, goes up in the middle and goes down on the sides. Not at all. It looks flat. But we can see as we go down, as we bring our eyeball close to the water, we can see that things are hidden on the other side. They're eclipsed by the curvature. The shore of Lanai. You can still see Lanai, getting close to the ocean. And you can still see Kaulave. And Lanai again. They look about the same height, don't they? Don't they? You see the curvature right there. The white line. Okay, now I'm standing right next to the lighthouse, the tiny lighthouse between Lapakahi and Mahukona. My altimeter says 65 feet of elevation, and you can tell I'm standing over the water. But you'll see how precise my altimeter is once we get down to the water level in my next clip. So here we see Hualalai over Kona. Okay, and in the middle is Mauna Loa. It has the top hidden by the clouds. And here is Mauna Kea. Mauna Kea means a white mountain in Hawaiian because it often has snow on top. It also has observatory, the biggest gathering of observatories in the world. And they're also trying to build the TMT, which all the Hawaiians are against. And they should then be against the TMT because they're trying to tap into the water source inside of Mauna Kea on top of trying to observe space that is fake. Ladies and gentlemen, space does not exist. We have a firmament above, and don't take my word for it. Research the firmament. Research what's above the firmament, what's being observed by people with cameras such as mine, Nikon P900, which is different than what the telescopes and the NASA say that they see with thanks to the artists. So look at here. Look at here. We have the hill by the Kona airport that is getting cut off from the rest of the land by the curvature. Okay, I'll show you another video about this one here. The hill before the Kona airport by Makalavena. Okay, thank you, Jethro Tull. That was thick as a brick. It's one album. And on the vinyl record, you play one whole side, and then you play the other whole side, and you get the one song. If you get the CD, you can hear the whole thing at once. If you go on MP3, it's your choice. You can either hear half the song or the whole song. If you ever heard a song like this that is being played out throughout almost an hour by the same musician the whole time, tell me about it. Tell me how good their music is too. How much variety is there throughout their one song. How many harmonics are being hit. How many melodies they put out. Oh, what do we have here? Look at the windmills. Sorry, I'm not showing you so well on this clip. Kind of forgot about them. And I'm going to show you a little bit of them after that. See the bottom windmills in the water. There are still 8 windmills, and I'm by the lighthouse, Mahukona. 8 windmills. The bottom one is in the water. The bottom is eclipsed by the curvature. Believe it or not. And if we look at the shoreline of Maui, it cuts off real steep there. It's not the same as we saw it from higher up on the Kohala Mountain, is it? We don't see McKenna at all. No point at looking for Molokini right now anymore, down close to the ocean level. At 40 miles away, 49 miles away. No more sight of Molokini, which proves the curvature. But does the curvature prove we're on a globe? I don't think so. Here's again Kaolave and Lanai. Okay, you can see the curvature line right in front of it. The white glowing line. It's the curve. And Lanai. See, they almost look a bit more distant apart. They used to look like they were holding hands when we were looking at them from higher up on the Kohala Mountain Road. But now they look like they think the coronavirus is around, so they're keeping their distance. No! Don't come too close to me! No! Ah! Yes, that's what the coronavirus does. It creates fear. That's about it. They say some people died. And they also talk about how these numbers are presumed on the CDC website. Presume that they died from that. Did we test them? No, we didn't test them, but they must have died from that. Come on, give me a chance. We're trying to promote this disease here, sell some pills, make everybody run that test, sell a lot of masks, sell all the soap. So this is the lighthouse. Mahukona, tiny little lighthouse. It's not like the old world lighthouse, which we see across the world. The old world before the 1800 reset. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can watch John Levy on YouTube, or Static in the Attic, or UAP, or Global Vision, New Earth. New Earth. Sylvie. These are very interesting channels to watch. Autodidactic. So here I'm right over the water. My altimeter showed me 26 feet over of elevation, but I'm not. I'm almost have my feet in the water. And I'm trying to protect my camera from the splashing waves. So my altimeter, once more, shows me wrong data. I'm about 6 feet over the water, and it shows 26 feet. So when I was above, by the lighthouse, it was showing 60-some feet, but I was just like maybe 20 feet higher, 30 feet higher, 40 feet higher maybe. And all the other measurements I've taken before were semi-precise. So imagine, that's the kind of data that they use to make up things like the globe. Is using some instruments that might be faulty. And then they tell you, it's science, believe it, or we'll make a clown out of you. You want to believe science? You don't want to be with us? You're against us. So if you're not scientific minded, you're stupid. No, you're not. You don't have to be scientifically minded. You can be religious if you want. You can follow any doctrine you want. It's our choice. We have the choice of religion. So you see Kaolave here, and I'm almost at the water level. And I'm looking for Lanai. It's really hard to see anything. Do we see Lanai? We can kind of see something, but it's really hard to see. Do we see it? Or we don't? We see Kaolave. Where's Lanai? Where's Lanai? Do we see it? Don't we? Can kind of see something, but we're not. I'm trying to point something out with the arrow, but I'm not even seeing it with my eyes. Kaolave? Kaolave. Kaolave. Kaolave is not a populated island. It's been mined for everybody's safety, everybody's well-being. Thanks to the US military, they went to put a whole lot of mines on that island, and they bombed the hell out of that island back in the 50s, 60s, just to try out their bombs. And they're still doing a lot of military exercise on top of Mauna Kea, by the slopes of Mauna Kea, between Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa and Hualalai. They have a big military base there, and they use depleted uranium as a weapon. Isn't that nice? It almost looks like there's Lanai out there. I just pointed out with the arrow, but I'm not sure. I thought I saw it. Can we say we see it? Can we say we don't? There's a shoreline of Maui. Nice big wave. I'm gonna bathe right in here. Skinny dipping. I'm gonna be nude, so I won't be able to watch the nudies and McKenna Beach while I'm nude here by Mahukona. So we cannot watch each other, cannot watch one another as we're nude on the beach from one island to the next. So where is that pu'u we were looking at that is by the Kona airport? It's not visible from down here. So we made the whole pu'u disappear just by climbing down this cliff, maybe 40 feet tall. We made the whole hill disappear. We eclipsed it with the curvature. Okay, one last shot here. And I forgot about those windmills. I went straight back to them. Let's look at those windmills. Do we have all 8 windmills? Do we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7th one seems to be dipping in water, and so are we. We're dipping, splashing. Yee-hoo! Doesn't that water look beautiful? Crystal clear. The windmills are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 2 bottom ones, or even the 3 bottom ones, or even the 4 bottom ones have their bottom missing. So we said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's an 8th one below the horizon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we don't see the 8th one. We're at the ocean level here, 6 feet over the water. Don't get seasick on me here, especially if you have the fires that they talk about on fake news. Okay, let's look at that again here. Robert the expert. Okay, so remember the globe as they conspire to give you this theory, has a radius of 3,963 feet. And we have to use that number to calculate how many miles, what's the height of things that are missing with the miles that we're looking at. So if we're looking far away, we shouldn't be able to see more and more land from the bottom, from the water level. How many miles can you see before the earth curves? 3 miles, they say. Can we see more than 3 miles away by having our eye close to the water? Can we? Haven't I showed you that already? How to calculate curvature, but that's not the curvature of the earth. That's makes the math complicated, but it winds up to be simple using the triangle of Pythagoras. Pythagoras! What is the earth curvature called? Hypsometric curve. Hypsometric curve is what we're looking at. The hypsometric. What a word. Hypsometric. It's like a hypnotizing word. Hypsometric. Hypsographic. Ooh. The earth is a globe. The earth is a globe. Repeat after me. We went to the moon. We went to the moon. We gotta go to Mars next. Or have we been to Mars already? We got a rover that's driving around the Arizona desert, but it looks like it's on Mars, doesn't it? Same for the moon landscape. Doesn't it look like Arizona landscape? Doesn't it look like a film made by Stanley Kubrick? So at 50 miles, or no, miles, not kilometers, we're in America here. So in America, we measure in feet and miles. 1,667 feet. So let's do the math here with my simple formula and see if we can compare to the theories that has been conspired by Google. So 50 miles times 50 miles is 2,500. Simple math times 0.66666, which is 2/3 of a foot, 8 inches to the foot, 1,666. They just rounded up. It's weird, they have a different calculator than I do. Even the number is a bit bigger than mine, but they're supposed to be using 7.97 inches to the foot, which is a bit less than 0.66666. And Molokini is 160 feet tall. 160 feet tall. And it's 49 miles away. Okay? And that's Lanai, that we almost lost sight of it. Okay? And should we be able to see Lanai? We shouldn't be able to see anything that's below 4,160 feet, but Lanai, it stands at over 3,300 and some feet. Like as we've seen earlier at the beginning of the video, if you took some notes, let's ask Google, according to its theories, that some people conspired to create 3,666 feet. It looks like a Freemasonic number. Who decided that it was that number? Did somebody go with the same kind of altimeter as I have that is not quite so accurate to dictate the elevation? 79 miles away. 79 miles away. And we can kind of see it from the shoreline. I wasn't sure. If you want to look at my video over and over and say, there it is, or it's not there. It's up to you. I made my point clear. If you want to argue me, we can argue. See, Oahu is 155 miles away. And apparently, one guy on the top of the mountain here from his house can see. Hi, I'm Louis. Welcome to my tube, the Curvature Amateur. I have more to show you like this, so hold on to your thoughts. You can make some math all you want. To compare it with my math. I like to keep things simple. I'm not a technician very well with computers. And I'm also a French Canadian, so if I have an accent, open your ears a little bit more. Okay? So, if we look at what's going on in the world right now, it doesn't look too good. But we can still look at the world with an open mind and an open eye, or two eyes. It works even better than one eye. And as we're looking around, you can see that there are things that we were told. And the things we were told are not necessarily true. Like, are we really spinning on a globe in the vacuum of space? Try to spin a ball and see how it acts. Try to spin a ball with water on top of it. And when we look at the stars, how come they don't change from night to night, from year to year? When we'd be spinning in space and our solar system is supposed to be moving forward, how can that be possible? The flat earthers have came up with a lot of good topics to show that what we're looking at is not what we were told. But they also claim that there is no curvature, and that is what I'm here to show you, that there is actually curvature out there that we can see and we can kind of measure with some good reference points. And at home here in Hawaii, I got lots of footage, and it's probably the best place in the world to be looking at the curvature, since we got high mountains and we got a wide span of water between the islands. So stay tuned and you'll see that I'm not as crazy as I look. Okay? I'm not crazy at all. Give me a chance. And I'm not conspiring with anybody over this topic here, because I made my own observation and I made my own judgment, and it's all out of this head here. If you have anything to add to my thoughts, I'm open. And if you have any comments that are going to tell me how crazy I am, I'm not going to be taking that so personally. So be open-minded, be open-hearted, and open-eyed.